brothers Wisp. The brothers Wisp, brothers Wisp. The brothers Wisp. The brothers.
You're
Wisp.
now listening to Greg. It's the brothers Wisp.
Hey everybody, sorry about the audio. I got some new mics and I was really hoping that would help improve things, but I couldn't make everything work, and so we just, for the sake of getting the casts done, we just rolled with what we had. Also, sorry for the incognito mode. Got busy with life, and this is a kind of a side project, so hopefully we're going to be back onto normal recording schedule soon, though. Bye.
Hey everybody, it's Tommy with the Brothers Wisp. I got McKenzie here and then JJ. Last day of WISPAmerica. Yeah, well, you know, all of us are a little bit exhausted. It's been a long conference.
Yes, it has been.
Let's see. There's a couple new vendors here. Some billing guys. There's the white box switching guys. That's kind of been nice to see. Anybody new that you thought was kind of interesting?
Nothing that popped off the top of my head, and I kind of wandered around, but I was more looking at just hitting some of this. I came with a mission of what places I wanted to talk to.
What?
So,
okay.
Yeah.
So you were targeted.
Yeah, I had goals. I was executing on them.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. I mean, I've been coming to these shows almost for 12 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it's the 12th year. I've only missed 2, I think, ultimately. So, again, like McKenzie, I come here with a mission. Most times I like to do a quick run through the floor just to see if there's anything new. But I like to sit there and talk to operators, vendors, and just meet up with people. And that's all I really come to shows for. So when I'm exhausted just from that.
Yeah.
Just from talking. It's just a lot of great conversations that come out of this event.
Yeah. No, I the pre-SEAM event on Monday, there was a lot of really good conversations I had there. It's always a really good event too.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
I unfortunately missed that one. I know.
Yeah. I met this really cool guy who was first time at WISPApalooza, and he's an MSP and has all the sonic wall and firewalling and such for his customers and such. So he had some really good thoughts and talking about how do you advertise and push, hey, this is actually a really valuable thing for your customers. And I was like, you know what, that is. Vendors always are like, oh yeah, you can do firewalling, and it's great. But somebody who actually does it, and hey, this is a core product for me.
So more like SD-WAN style or managed router services.
More along the lines of filtering content, stuff like that.
Okay.
So, his whole network runs through a couple sonic walls, 65 or something hundred.
Really?
Yeah. I'm like, man.
I just want to throw up messing with the sonic wall. I do not like sonic walls.
Well,
those are to me are more commercial grade or IT focused, business focused firewalls. I just don't see their place in an ISP's network. But hey, to each their own. That's awesome, man.
He makes it work and he makes money off of it. That's what we're here.
Perfect.
He's got more customers than I do currently.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, coming from the IT world and here, that's what I tried doing with WatchGuards or sonic walls or whatever. And I had to learn, no, and that's not exactly how that works. But again, to each their own. And if you make it work, that's awesome. That's all that counts, is providing great service to your clients.
Yeah, that's it.
I did see one cool product.
Oh,
that I don't know if it's it was a WISP that had fabricated it, and I don't know if they're going to sell it or whatnot. But they're showing that they had built this big metal structure to mount ubiquity wave devices to.
Oh, you're talking about Brandon Hardy's mount? Yeah. The Teltec booth.
Yeah.
That was very nice. That looks very professional and well made.
Yeah. That was I saw some pictures. I haven't seen it. Does he have it here?
Yeah, it's in the Teltec booth.
You can buy it right now.
Oh, I'll have to go check it out then.
Yeah.
That looked. I was like.
I heard it was $500 though.
Mm-hmm. But it's very well made.
Oh, when you look at, have you seen it yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, $500 for that seems like a steal when you look at its cost of metal.
Yeah, I think he goes up to 180 degrees, I think, or 150, something like that.
Yeah, you can get 4 of those wave APs.
Yeah.
So.
Now that looks great what Brian did. Of course, it's a Texas company, so got to Texas.
Yeah.
Texas. So Yeah, and he's only about an hour and a half from my network. So, but he's done.
Nice.
It's great what he did and came
Yeah.
up with. And I think it also not only. I think we were talking the other day about it. It can adapt to other radios.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no,
I mean,
it
he's
wasn't
got a
just the wave
whole-
stuff, but yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just it looks like a really nice way to mount to a tower, and it gives you some vertical adjustment for your antennas. I don't know what it was like up to like 3 or 4 degrees, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, you
So,
can adjust them,
yeah,
but then the antennas themselves
also
mount,
have it.
yeah, or basically it's a 2-inch pipe
Yeah.
that they can then mount.
I am hearing through the grapevine that the Ubiquity will be bringing back their Edge switch maybe in a few months.
That
Was very cool.
yeah,
We need that switch back in line.
yeah,
I
definitely.
know a lot of us are using it.
There's
I just
the outdoor one,
the outdoor one.
at the Edge Point Switch 16.
Yeah.
yeah, everyone's been bemoaning. that
I've had
loss of
to
that.
work around making the Net Power 16Ps work.
Yeah, they're not a great option.
Well, you have to run 2 power. And
Yeah.
Well, you can't do there's not enough amperage for the
yeah,
for the 54-volt radios.
Mhm.
It's just not, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
They are
Yeah.
tweaking this switch, so we'll see what they
Yeah.
actually comes with. I'm hoping by the summer
fingers
we'll see it
crossed.
from
knock on
Ubiquity
wood.
and supply it with enough
Yeah.
product in the channel. That would be
Yeah.
awesome because I think they're going to get a flood of orders.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, some of these people are getting extorted off of eBay for $1,000+ for the damn
Yeah.
switch. It's just
I think the problem they're going to have is everybody's going to have PTSD, and everybody's going to buy like 500 of them just to have
Exactly.
one plan.
Yeah. Well,
So,
I mean,
but
but-
fair,
yeah, that's the one reason why a lot of like the companies that I've worked for, we always switched at the bottom because switching at the top, there's not a lot of options, and
yeah, we were on the fence about it. There was
Yeah.
reasons.
yeah,
There's
yeah,
always business reasons.
There's always business reasons. If you have to pay for each run, you have to run up. Yeah, it gets expensive.
I saw another fun product here that's coming down the pipeline. Alta's outdoor access point.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't look at that. I saw it, I
Yeah.
heard it, but
Yeah.
I didn't really look at
Yeah,
it.
so the form factor is pretty much identical to their existing AP, but it's got a big old welded metal attach point on the back.
Yeah, so like you can it's for you can do like hose clamps and such on the back of it, so you can mount it to whatever, and then you can mount it in any direction you want.
Yeah, so you
It's
can mount
got
it to
a-
a vertical pipe, you can mount it to a horizontal pipe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. That's pretty cool. And then they're saying routers coming in like 2 months, and
Fingers crossed, no come.
yeah, and like around the same time that they have the router, they're gonna have the self-hosted management, which is gonna be
I think that's a big thing for a lot of operators that really want to have that control and not have to eat those costs and run it in the cloud. So
I mean, too many guys have been burned with having to do stuff in the cloud, like the Mimosa cloud stuff.
It seems like people are just getting cloud exhausted.
Yeah.
There's
Well, you
advantages
look
to
at
the
cost.
cloud.
There are, but you
Don't get
also
me
look at the cost of operations, and it's
Most people
it
are
gets
like,
expensive eventually.
they do well. It's just where do you want to put the herd? Where do you want to put the fees? Either you do cloud and pay for all those fees, or you build an IT infrastructure to support all that. Because most people don't understand you have to build the infrastructure and the backup systems, which have their own costs,
And the personnel.
and the personnel exactly.
Yeah.
And so, where, and like I say, where do you want the herd?
Yeah.
And that's it.
100%.
So,
Yeah.
but just because it's in the cloud does not mean it's necessarily secure. You're
Yeah.
still
Okay.
held liable for that security.
Yeah.
If you have any personally identifiable PII,
Yeah.
patient, good grief, still healthcare stuff.
CPI,
CPI.
CPI,
Yep.
CPI stuff. So you gotta be careful.
So,
Yeah.
let's see. So there's the cloud, the white box switch guys. I thought that was kind of cool. Starting to see some more of those, like, kind of bigger boy, 100 gig ports, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because, a lot of guys are running into, like, the MikroTik. You can't do 100 gig in a lot of situations. So, just seeing some of that and seeing that, like, different options popping up for guys, that's really cool.
There was I didn't stop by the booth, but there was a booth here about somebody that was doing QoE. It was,
Paraquam,
maybe
there's Paraquam guys.
Can't be
it was
observed
something
there.
new to the show.
I think Paraquam was at WISPApalooza. They just
Okay.
didn't.
He had a little bit better presence, Chris did.
Yeah,
At this show, so that was
this
good.
show. Yeah, he did.
So maybe it is that.
Yeah, kind of behind the mimosa booth.
Okay, I'll have to
Yeah.
go check it out. I haven't
Yeah.
come across it yet. So.
Yeah, he does it pretty good. But they're using the ASICs in some Intel cards to
Okay.
do like really cool sub, like down to the nanosecond analysis and such. So
Interesting.
it's all right. I like
Another
that.
player in the space.
Yep, another player in space, and we'll see where they end up.
Who have you not seen that you thought would be at the show? Or who do you wish was at the show? How about that?
Who do I wish was at the
So I
show?
see a lot of the same players are typically here, so that's cool. But who do you think wasn't here but should have been here, or you wanted to see here?
I would love to see Microtech show up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're told they do not want to leave their country right now.
Yeah,
And I guess with the war over there, it's understandable. But someone needs to come up with an unofficial mum. Everyone wants the mum show back.
Yeah.
So they like
Well,
that. small
they
show.
have an unofficial mum, like over in Europe. There's
Yeah.
a bunch of the consultants got together and are putting it.
I'm
together.
surprised we don't have someone lead this it here in the United States at least.
Glenn got permission. Kelly,
Uh-huh.
he got permission and was like trying to do some of the stuff. He was like looking up venues and such like that, but I kind of fell on the floor. We all got busy, but
Yeah.
so if somebody were to do it, I'd be game. That was a really fun.
Again, keep it like with the mum. It's $50 for the ticket. It's small venue. Everyone on their own, but at least have
Mhm.
it's all focused about Microtech and bring everyone together. Because that's what a lot of people are liking. We love the big shows, but sometimes the smaller regional shows are
Well, and
they're fun.
it's smaller, regional, and it's more focused to
Yep.
like what's going on.
Yep.
It's a little
what
bit
is-
challenging for us to get out to regional shows.
For y'all, yeah. Unless you do a regional in Alaska,
Yeah.
y'all and the Bears, sure.
Yeah, we go hang out with Bears and the Moose. You know who wasn't here this year? Saisei, aka First Wave.
Saisei hasn't been here for a couple of years.
They had a booth last year.
They did?
They did
Okay.
at WISPAmerica or Palooza?
I think Palooza. They might have had one at WISPAmerica too.
Yeah.
Definitely Palooza.
Mhm.
I saw someone
It
running
was
around with a
relatively
Sandvine badge on with their name, Sandvine.
Here.
Mhm.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know what that. That was
But
interesting.
so there was that acquisition that happened.
Mhm.
First Wave and Saisei. So maybe they'll go. Maybe they're just planning on going to the big show.
I saw a couple Juniper guys running around with
Interesting.
Juniper badges and chatted. There's one of them was a sales guy, and he was just like, "Yeah, I can swing by, get dinner with a couple of my customers, and keep on going." And he was able to get like 4 people, and I was like, "I guess that doesn't count as suitcasing."
Probably does technically, but I know there's a lot of people that do that. They're
Mhm.
very quiet.
Yeah,
They're just here just to meet their existing clients. They're not out here
Yeah.
drumming up business.
Yeah, I did have somebody come up to me. It was actually at the Presium event.
Really?
I was in the middle of a conversation. This lady comes up and is like, introduces herself. Hey, we do this engineering stuff, and like,
Oh, I
hands
know
me-
what lady.
Yeah,
yeah.
and like gave everybody her card. I'm like,
You're not coming
really?
back.
Okay. So I messaged Mike Wendy about her. I was like, this is
suitcasing.
yeah, that is suitcasing.
Yeah.
And what was funny is, so apparently a lot of the vendors don't understand what suitcasing is. Because like the Mimosa guys and a couple of the WinCom, I was out having drinks with them last night. And one of them's like, hey man, I need some place to put my suitcase. And I was like, just take it to your booth. And he's like, well, no, they have a sign that says no suitcasing.
Yeah, they probably need to call it a different thing. Yeah.
That's
But it's a trade conference.
Maybe that's why they
Yeah.
explained it during the keynote.
yeah, I know, but how
You're not
many
here
of
at the
the-
keynote,
Yeah, how many vendors are actually going? to
Oh,
the
yeah,
keynote?
fair enough.
Exactly. Yeah, it's mostly that keynotes are just operators, but
Mhm.
I know
Or,
there's
or
some
the
vendors.
sponsors.
Yeah, sponsors, but
Yeah, I would be like, because WISPA does a lot of like notes to the vendors. Like, hey, here's when you're supposed to pack out. You aren't allowed to pack out till after the last showroom floor stuff. And then there's a few other ones, especially every year I notice because I'm always wandering around because I go everywhere. And so that seems like something pretty reasonable. Be like, hey, this is it. But I guess you don't need to tell the people at the exhibit hall what suitcasing is because they're exhibitors. They're following the rules.
Yeah.
But those people that just fall through the cracks, I get it. But
Yeah. And if you keep it low key, there's consultants.
Absolutely.
There's networking consultants who
Well, you can have a conversation if they ask you for your card. Like
yeah.
integrity and respect
Yeah.
for the show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's important. It's
But everyone I saw, other than that one lady, I don't really see. These are the same players every single year, and they're fine. And again, they're here just to meet their clients.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're not
Actually,
really here
you know
interested in new ones.
IP architects. They aren't here.
No, they're not.
Yeah. I want to say like there was another conference, big conference or something, or they were busy.
So I know some of the people are split. There's something like going in Prague right now also.
Yeah.
And there was another conference in, I think it's called Tech Advantage or something like down in San Antonio right now.
Yeah.
The same week.
So
And there was a conference that just happened in Mexico like a week or two ago.
Yeah.
Right?
yeah. So who were you surprised to have made it here?
Surprised.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm glad Ubiquity's back again. So that was
Mhm.
awesome.
Yep.
Their booth was very simple, but it was very good to have there. And they were
That
front row
screen
as
is
soon as you come in.
Yeah. That
So-
screen is expensive.
Yes.
That is an extremely expensive screen.
And so I'm glad to see that they're still
Yeah.
coming back. Toronto, of course, big presence.
Mm-hmm. Cambium's booth felt like
Very
low
small,
key.
low key. Yeah. Some of the like Power Coaches always had big booths, and they're just little tiny booths.
Yeah.
I noticed that. I'm like, wow, that's just interesting.
It's been that way for a few years now, though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they've
yeah.
toned down a
Really
lot.
toned it down.
I was walking with my wife and I was like, yeah, the Power Codes, they used to be a pretty wild party.
Mhm.
I remember my first WISPA and there weren't a lot of guys at the Power Code.
Yeah.
You mean guys working?
Yeah.
There were
No,
guys
there were
attending.
guys. Yeah, no, there were guys who went to the Power Code booth.
Exactly. We'll just leave it at that for now.
Yeah. David Dean actually showed up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we really want to get in that topic.
Nah, I just he showed up and he hasn't caused any problems.
Yeah.
It's like,
And actually, there was a very surprising, not a lot of drama here.
yeah,
Just good. Again,
Yeah.
integrity
Yeah.
and responsibility. We're all adults.
I think there was very well. I've heard there was a couple of issues outside the event and outside, people drinking too much, of course, like that. But
like, yeah.
Very
Welcome
minor
to
stuff.
conferences.
Yeah.
Welcome to conferences.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's just conference 101. It's just
Yeah.
what it is.
No.
What it is.
If there's not people throwing up, it's not a real conference.
A lot of partying to 2, 3, 4.
Oh my god.
Oh my God! Many conversations like, man, I should have paced myself better.
Yeah.
He goes, and this is not my first conference either. I'm like, we feel like a lot more people were letting loose a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I also like about WISPAmerica show. It's always a little bit more laid back.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't hear about anybody falling off of any scooters.
Yeah, no scooter issues. Yeah.
Yeah.
Scooter issues.
No scooter issues. There's a lot of scooters around here. I thought like everywhere across the states was like, oh, we're tired of this.
Yes, there's a lot of banning.
Yeah.
The
There's a lot
scooters.
like Chicago, Denver. They kicked them all out, but they're popular here
Still
still.
walking around here.
Yeah.
So
What did you think about the venue and the hotels and the
So-
situation, the lay of the land?
all right. Are either of you at the Omni?
I am.
I am.
You guys are. Yeah. Apparently you were like with the few, the proud.
Really?
WISPA had us pay out to the Omni because not enough rooms in the hotel block got filled.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Why?
So I didn't have any say in the picking of my hotel room. So I would have been at the Omni because I was like, hey, there's rooms. But
Right.
apparently, like if in the last couple of weeks, Omni was charging like $400 something odd for Tuesday night. The other days were like the normal 200, whatever it was. So a bunch of guys went out, ended up at other hotels because the Fairfield was like $120 a night and such
Right.
like that. And so WISPA kind of got
Surge pricing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
yeah.
which totally was weird to me because why Tuesday night?
It is kind of odd.
But
Here we are
they didn't
here.
fill the room block. I thought they did fill the room block.
My understanding is that they didn't.
Wouldn't hurt to ask someone from WISPA. Talk to Mike real quick
Yeah.
to see if they'll firm that up.
Yeah. So if you can, it's better to go
I will
It
say
helps
that.
WISPA to meet their obligations.
Yeah.
I know it's a money issue potentially to a lot of people because a lot more
Mhm.
people are starting to feel the hurt economic wise. I do get that.
Yeah.
So but I booked early. So I always
Mhm.
I've learned it's easier to book at the conference hotel because everyone's always at the bar, the circle bar.
Mhm.
And then it's easy just to walk right up the
Yeah.
right up the elevator, right there.
elevator.
Or dropping if I'm going to go dinner, I can easily drop my backpack off
Mhm.
and whatever I want to, and I don't have to worry about hauling it across town to my
I
hotel.
would say this bar I like the WISPAmerica bar scene better because the Paris bar
That's horrible. The blue
it's
circle,
awful.
the blue bar.
Yeah, the blue bar. It's always chaos and loud, and it's impossible to have like a conversation unless
That's
you're yelling.
Vegas.
Yes.
Vegas is chaos and loud.
Well, and as far as I know, they extended hours and they allowed extra beer and pizza to come in. So people were having pizza parties, I guess, last night in there.
Yeah.
So that was cool that the hotel was very accommodating for that. Yeah, y'all have fun.
Yeah.
And I think
Well-
everyone was civilized.
Yeah.
So that was good.
Yeah. And even after the hotel closed up the bar, there was guys.
Oh yeah, still here. Too. And I
Yeah.
think the Waffle House runs at 3 or 4 in the morning. So I'm like, wow, this is crazy.
They're
They
awesome.
run 24/7.
Yep. So, all right. Well, let's see here. What'd you guys think of the talks? Actually, we were talking a little bit beforehand. What were your guys' thoughts about the talks, or what were you guys feeling like?
I like
Well-
JJ's idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So just explain your idea, JJ. A little.
Well, I just, I think the tech vision was very good on Monday. So we'll talk about that real quick. I think that the pre-conference Mondays, I think WISP is really doing a better job of stepping up those pre-conference agendas. Because most people are coming in for Sunday anyway, Monday. Why not bring better attractions? I think it would be great to see WISPA step it up even more to have paid moderators, paid panelists really come in. I know they're trying to, and they're doing a better job, in my opinion, on the keynotes and bringing up talent.
Mhm.
But the common thing I hear a lot the last few years is it's the same sessions over and over and over again. And then, of course, we try to do our best with people volunteering for sessions and be panelists, be moderators, and bringing the content. But a lot of times accidents happen. I fell out. I didn't come here, plane issues or whatever the case may be. But it's not a ramification if we don't show up because we're all volunteers here.
Yeah.
So I think it would be great to bring in paid panelists and speakers during the day, maybe 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, to have a really great topic to do a good deep dive. And that way it's someone who's motivated to come here. So in this case, maybe bringing someone from a Google data center or Microsoft data center guys to come in and really have a good talk. I'm not talking about going and hire Gary Vee to come in and do a business track, but do someone from do a business track, do a tech track, do a regulatory track, someone who really knows their content and can really perform. Because a lot of people are so nervous to get in front of people.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, it's taken me years to be comfortable. I have no problems getting up front if I need to and talk to people, but it takes a lot. Most of us are nerds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not good for public speaking.
That's what we're looking
And I
for.
know this is a show to help each other. And don't get me wrong, I think you can fill that in. But I think it's good to step up, that WISPA should step up to bring in better content because a lot of people do like the content. I particularly I'm okay with it either way. But if there was someone who was really well-spoken and well-regarded in their field of expertise and doing a session, I'm more tempted to go into there.
Well, that's what I was thinking. As we were talking, was having a keynote per day that's a high level. Touching on regulatory, touching on the technical, touching on the marketing, touching on business development, touching on the key pillars of WISPs as an organization or as businesses, having a keynote that has that high level speaker that can come in so you can attend that, and then have those 100, 200 series sessions that are more of that base level for the new operators that are coming in, the new people that haven't come to the show, or the employees that you're starting to bring. As your WISP continues to grow, we bring 2 to 3 new employees every WISP show, basically.
Exactly.
And
I had
they
4
have an
this, yeah.
opportunity- Yeah, they have an opportunity to see, and those 101 and those 201 sessions for them are fantastic because they get that introductory. But those top level business especially is, again, we're all nerds. Everybody's an entrepreneur that came out of wanting to get wireless to their house functionally, or most of us.
Yeah.
So, there's the other pillars or the other aspects of your business that you're not an expert in, or that you don't have that high level. And having those, the keynote from TED was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And I love gigahertz.
Gigahertz. That is the number one thing. It's all about the gigahertz.
It's all about the gigahertz.
All about the gigahertz.
We all have to pay respect to Ted's
TED reports.
Mentor.
his mentor. Ted's
Great mentor.
So
Yes, it was a good talk. My brain was getting hurt.
Yeah.
Hurt.
There's some high level technical stuff in there that was like,
It was gigahertz, and there was one other one. He had
Gigabits.
Gigabits. That's
Yeah,
what
he used giga for both of those.
Yeah.
And I was like, listen to him, like,
I'm about to go
is he
rewrite all the
trolling us?
documentation.
Exactly.
yeah, like, because he's obviously smarter than me.
And a lot of us we were in the back. We're like, did he say gigahertz? Is that?
I'm not going to argue with the guy that knows more about everything to do with wireless than I ever will. If he's going to pronounce it gigahertz, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And of course, I was thinking Doc Brown and 1.21 gigahertz. And
But you know what? It's definitely a GIF. It's not a GIF.
Yes.
It's a GIF.
Yes.
So I think that was the greatest funny takeaway from the whole thing. Was that
100%.
conference was the gigahertz comments.
Well, again, he was one of those perfect examples of he's a fantastic engaging speaker.
Yes.
He's a professor. He's he does that for a living,
Mm-hmm.
and getting 4 or 5 of those people at a show.
Absolutely. And I don't think you have to stack. So the way the typical feeling is WISPAmerica is the more technical, and WISPapalooza is more the business side. So why not have the technical be more those keynotes, or that's what it's to really cement what the spring show is all about.
Well, it does pose there's a good reason to come to WISPAmerica.
Exactly.
You get the technical keynotes. There's a good reason to come to WISPapalooza. You get the business and the marketing keynotes.
Exactly. I'm not saying you can't have some cross things and a little.
There's some incentives there for people to show up at the shows. So.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's a pretty good.
That's what it is. Yeah. That's where, again, it's not just the session content and seeing the vendors, and it's also the people, the hallway meetings. And I say it's 2:00 in the morning at the Waffle House is on a little silly side, but there's still conversations going on at all times.
Oh,
you never know where you're going to get that little bit of nugget, and that's what I love. I come here, I'm exhausted, I'm so tired, but it's so that's what I look forward to.
And there's a lot of really good conversations.
And I would append that to say that don't be discouraged from coming to WISPAmerica and expect that it's going to be purely technical. I mean,
absolutely.
My 8:00 session yesterday was a financial session.
Yeah.
We are growing as an organization, as businesses. So there's a lot of non-technical stuff, but
it's more of the theme. It's what it's all about. But you still have to have, because you're still going to have business owners that come.
Yep.
So it doesn't matter. You're still going to have those venture capitalists or VC, the private equity guys. So you still have to have content to them.
Yeah.
But this is the general theme. But that's like, hey, because a lot of the, like in this case, PE guys, they have a technical consultant. Hey, go to this show and find out what these guys are talking about.
Yep, 100%.
And then they go to this fall show to really understand the business side.
Yeah. Well, and then like the Master Monday stuff, those actually were good talks.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think Master Monday,
I feel like they kind of evolved Master Monday into the C-level, which, again, I liked the C-level stuff.
Yeah.
I like the Master Monday.
And what we started doing last year was, because we had the CEO roundtables and the tech roundtables, but I always love the roundtables. That's great for me, at least the CEO roundtables.
They're great for networking.
And what we did last year was, why don't we take a Master Monday session? Now, I was intending just to do maybe a 2-4 hour block instead of doing it Wednesday evening or something like that. Let's have it Monday. Well, then Nathan expanded it to the whole day. Yeah. We're not having to figure out how we were making it, but we liked the direction it was going. Got a lot of positive feedback. We did the same thing this year with the tech. I think that's going to be something that's going to be great going forward, and just going to make the content even better.
Yep. Oh, I love it.
Because everyone's trying to jam everything in on a Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and it's like, oh my gosh, how do you do this? And we're like, why don't we do some serious deep diving conversations?
Yeah.
You can't do a whole lot in a 1 hour session.
Yeah. But you get those 2 to 3 hour or consecutive 1 hour sessions.
Correct.
On the same topic. It really
Yeah.
And they're on the same day, truly consecutive. So
Yeah, I think that a lot more effort maybe needs to go into the planning sessions of tactically, strategically, that you have a series of conversations like you just said. We're going to cover this master topic, but it's going to be broken up into 4 1 hours.
you know, it'd be great.
So part 1, 2, 3, 4, or something like that.
What would be great is we have these things called large language models, right? And I'm a huge advocate for spreadsheets. So you know, what about just putting all the sessions into the days and being like, hey, can you please here's the type of session it is, make this work.
Yeah. And then maybe
don't overload the end user.
I know the agenda committee does a good job on organizing everything. We just need to maybe step it up a little bit more, maybe get some more insight, different opinions. I think WISPA needs to needs to try to step it up a little bit more to help bring the people in. And I think they're trying their best. We just need to put more
they could tie
focus on it.
They could tie like the 50-50 winnings to a show review.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, that was actually something. So I was walking around the conference floor this morning, or the showroom floor, and like my wife was critiquing various booths, and it was like, "Oh, they aren't and she's at an eye for that kind of stuff." And I was like, you know what they ought to do is like your 50-50. The like which one of the vendor, like whenever they scan, you can be like, great booth, shitty booth.
You get like who's a Marie Kondo in here for some feng shui.
Yeah,
Making booths look nice. Professional booth organizers.
Well, I had one idea that I had, and I was like, oh, we should totally do this. Like, you know, get pictures of the booth, whatever, and then email the CEO and be like, hey, your booth was crap. Do this stuff to make it better.
Well, I'll tell you, those boost guys may look simple, but sometimes even the simple is extremely expensive to set up and time consuming. And these guys are just fatigued.
Yeah.
Going from show to show to show. So like next week is Connected American Irving. So some of these guys are packing up and moving down to Dallas next week.
Yeah. So,
well, and again, budget. What's your budget? So
Exactly. And I get it. They're doing it 20 shows. We see them at 1 or 2 shows a year. They're like, why don't you step it up? Be like what Power Code used to do. Gosh, those are expensive booths.
Yeah, that was.
So there is a practical side.
There is a practical. Yes.
Yeah, just because you can put a little fake plant would be cool for feng shui or something like that, and rotate.
Well, just having chairs and stuff like that helps for having a conversation. Just organizing of the booth.
I was convinced that there wasn't nearly as many standing tables here.
Yeah. I did it as trash can, and JJ's like, hey, and people were like, JJ, is that your table? I'm like, heck yeah, why not? It was right here at the nice chest level. It was great.
Yeah,
I love more just because they're a good way for, again, the small group networking, 2 or 3 people to be able to stand around and talk and be able to see,
I did like
sit at a table with 12 other people.
I did like the layout here is where all the mass tables were in the middle and booths were all the way around. So that was pretty nice. So
I like that.
You had the constant flow of going from tables to booths back and forth, and you could see way more people coming and going. So I did like the layout.
That was nice. I would have loved, but having some of those more, standing tables spread out throughout.
Correct.
That would be nice.
More, how about some or any?
There was like 3 or 4.
Yeah,
down on one end there was some more. There was like 6 or so, spread out. But
they were kind of spaced throughout.
Yeah, but more towards the front, there wasn't hardly any. There was 2.
Yeah, but I think more chairs in the booths would be good, but that's bad booth etiquette. You want people standing.
Yep.
It's just like when you have guests over, you don't want to give them on a sleep number bed. You want them in and out. You don't want them to stay. So I get the appeal, but I saw some vendors brought their own chairs because these chairs suck.
Yeah.
And we want something comfortable.
Yeah.
So
when you're there for 6-8 hours, and you're having to do that, and maybe maybe you're not getting a ton of people past your booth all the time. Yeah.
But it is bad booth etiquette to sit down.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be standing. And really, it's only 3 or 4 hours tops spread out over both, since they only have the exhibit all open.
It is only for 2 hours or an hour. That's
exactly.
Very,
now, I get it. If there's a medical issue, get it. Completely get it.
But if you're trying to have a longer conversation with somebody comes by, you want to do a longer conversation, That's it. Sitting down with them is actually, I see that, like Ethereal does it. They do really well for that.
But I did like that there's enough space easily between the booth setups and that you can walk. Sometimes they're very narrow and it's pain. You almost have to walk front to front or back to back to just get by some of these aisles.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a good layout.
Good layout. Yeah,
Good layout.
very good.
Yeah, and good flow. And it did look like it snaked back there. It wasn't kind of advertised. We're like, oh wow, here's another section of vendors back here.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'd give the whole conference center a solid 9.5 out of 10.
oh, absolutely, the
Like,
conference center.
It was like really nice, really accessible.
They said this is
Really
brand new
accessible.
practically. It's
Yeah.
only 2 or 3 years old.
Oh yeah, all of this stuff.
Yeah.
All this portion of town is brand
It's
spanking new.
easy to navigate.
Yep.
Like it was very easy to navigate. I didn't get lost looking for rooms. That was nice.
Mhm.
So
The other amenities like
the
you can
coffee
get over
was
to
okay.
Brick. Yeah.
The coffee was okay.
Yeah, you can get over to Bricktown, which is like the
Yep.
restaurant area and such. Really pretty as well.
The amount of
That was
people
nice.
complaining about walking on dirt here. There was
Walking on dirt?
Yeah, there was like there's a sidewalk that's like a dirt sidewalk because it's construction. It's dirt.
Well, this is about to blow up with that building, a 2,000, 3,000 foot tall tower. That's
Yeah.
that's about a block or two from here. So it's going to get really crazy around here. But I think overall, I think this is one of the better conference venues that WISP has put on. I didn't even say this is better than Vegas, honestly, the way this laid out. But Vegas is way bigger. So,
Yeah.
and it could accommodate because there's 2 or 3 other exhibit hall styles that are they're still just close. This thing is way accommodating.
Yeah, I feel just overall, I'm surprised at how great Oklahoma is. I think I'm rating it higher because I'm so surprised. I was thinking Oklahoma City, like,
yeah, no, I'm definitely thrilled.
yeah.
I think the biggest complaint I've heard the whole week has been flights in and out.
Oh,
But hey, that's national. I'm not saying that's just an Oklahoma City
Yeah.
thing. And I know there's people who are trying to get out now and they're delayed flights, canceled flights.
Yeah,
And
Oklahoma
so-
City's airport's not quite
No,
big
it's
enough.
not the great. And I know that WISPA does a good job of booking the venues. You just got to be sensitive. Like, well, why don't you have it on the East Coast? I'm like, well, that's a tier 1 city. You can get to Philadelphia, but good luck trying to book a reasonable because WISPA's trying to keep those costs down.
Mm-hmm.
So
I was saying, coming from Alaska, our flights here were like awesome,
that's not
all
bad,
things
yeah.
considered.
Yeah.
I mean, they somehow managed to. We had a 45-minute flight delay out of Seattle Tacoma Airport. They managed to get us here on time. I don't know how they pulled it off, but they did it. So I was like,
Yeah,
made up that time somehow.
Yeah, well, United, I fell asleep, and when we pulled away from the gate, and it was most of an hour later, I woke up when we actually took off, and we still got here early.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, they booked it.
Yeah. Got a nice tailwind or something.
Yeah, what some people should do is just drive it and fly your nearest major city, in this case Dallas, and just drive in.
Yeah.
In this case, only 2 hours. So there's so much of a hassle I'm seeing with more smaller airports.
Mm-hmm.
So it's better just to get to find that major airport and then just drive in.
Yeah. See, I drove to Louisville last year,
Yeah.
and that made a world of difference.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people had issues with the airports over there last year.
Isn't that where it's happening again next year?
No,
No.
it's not there.
Yeah, they haven't.
They
announced
should be.
it.
I did talk to WISPA just shortly ago, and they have 3 cities they're looking at, but no signed contract. They're hoping they'll announce it in the next month or two, so people will start planning.
Because I heard rumor mill was St. Louis.
No,
Kill me.
that may be on the list. He told me, and I already forgot, but
I'm
I know
hoping.
everyone was talking about Louisville. I'm like, no, it's not. We're not doing there.
They just went there.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're not.
I do honestly think WISPAmerica should have a cemented location too. I get
Really?
the point of moving it around,
Mm-hmm.
but I think you should try to do your best to just cement this.
Yeah, if here I would be fine. Besides
I'm
the
okay. I'm
airport-
only 3 hours of drive, so it's
Yeah.
easy for me to get.
Besides the airport,
Yeah.
I do also appreciate though that it gives when they move it around. I mean, obviously I've come from Alaska, so no matter where it goes, I've got 7 hours of travel just to get out of Alaska.
Yeah.
So that's just to get out to Seattle. So after that point, it's kind of moot point. But being able to have it held in different areas throughout the central U.S. it gives different operators an opportunity to be kind of closer to their hometown.
Mhm.
I do.
It spreads the wealth around to the conferences and stuff. So it's maybe we move WISPApalooza somewhere other than Vegas. Maybe that's what we do.
The thing is that it's the size of the venue.
Oh, 100%.
you
Yeah,
know,
no, I
and-
get it. Like, what other cities?
But see, like
can do
Oklahoma
that?
City can easily accommodate WISPApalooza. That's not a
Right.
problem.
Yeah.
New Orleans should have been there too. Birmingham, no way. So
I don't really.
Well, how many more people come to WISPApalooza? We're
Double.
We're 53,000.
Yeah.
about 22,
25.
25, somewhere in that
25.
range.
So we're about 1,000 more than we are here.
Yeah.
So I
More.
mean, yeah.
So it's. I think maybe if the airport got a little bit bigger, but
Right.
I mean, and then also like, how many rooms did they book out for?
Yeah, I don't know that one.
Yeah, it's like, how big is this hotel's? Probably what, 400, 600 rooms?
It's like 16 stories. 14 of those, no, 12 of those are rooms. And I don't know how many rooms. There's probably about 50 rooms.
50
a
rooms
floor.
for a floor.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
whatever that math's out
About
to.
600.
So you could do 600, and so you need 4 hotels.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
And there's definitely some challenges there. So again, I'm not an event coordinator though.
yeah,
And that is somebody that WISPA does have is an event coordinator.
yeah,
Yes.
So
And they do a damn good job.
yeah.
yeah. They did.
And there's a lot, and people don't think, they think it
All
should
the
be a lot
nuances.
easier, but there's a lot of negotiations
Yep.
that they have to deal with.
Negotiations, coordinating.
How'd you feel about the food here?
It's, I'm tired of sandwiches. You know.
As far as an event food goes, I'd give it a solid 8.
Really?
Yeah.
This
as far
is
as
the
like,
best. This is the best.
Breakfast the other day was good. Tuesday morning breakfast was
the
good.
sandwiches and like just as far as the flavor and everything for it and the availability, I'd give it an 8.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't, but
No?
okay.
Right.
But to each their own. If you don't like it, go to the coffee shop.
Yep.
Go to the
Yeah, well,
restaurants
Now
around the corner.
and they've had the convenience station, like
Yeah.
they've had that open, and you can get 8 snacks, and
I was a little bummed that they wouldn't let me get my Gatorade with my drink ticket. I had to buy it.
Yeah.
it's like flip a coin whether what you're trying to get at the convenience station is covered by your ticket or not.
oh, huh, okay, well, I haven't.
Snacks
There's
were-
a sign
snacks
that
were
says
covered.
what they cover. It's very small print
Yeah,
though.
snacks were covered and water was covered
hmm And coffee.
and coffee was covered.
Yeah.
But soda wasn't, and the Powerade wasn't.
I'm still.
last year
My
was-
problem is, and I yell at WISPA staff or kindly encourage them, iced tea out all day. There are a lot, I'm not a coffee drinker. I like drinking my iced teas in the morning.
Yeah.
Leave it out all day. Like, you do water, you do coffee. Why not throw? So, and I know WISPA did it one time before Ariel left, WISPA staff, and she had managed to pull it off, and it was great. And it was gone all the time. It was used and consumed, and but they never do it. I'm like, that's my number one bitch, is I don't like iced tea.
Well, I'm glad that that's your number one.
That's my number one bitch, and it's stupid, but it just. I'm like, come on, people. And it's not just WISPA staff. All the other conferences I would go to is like, why is this not
Where's my iced tea?
Exactly.
All right, so let's see. Moving forward, what do we got?
I would say that the WISPApalooza people may need to, because some go to the Calyx show. They're both at the same time this year.
Ooh.
So that's going to be challenging for people that if go to WISPApalooza and want to go to Calyx. Now, it could be a benefit.
Is here too. Is a part of it.
Calyx is here.
And they had
Their booth is a
dinner
lot smaller.
Yes.
It's gotten smaller and smaller.
But if you go to Calyx big
Well, they
show
also
in
did a
Vegas,
dinner too.
Did
yes.
they?
Yeah.
Yeah, Cox did dinner.
Okay.
It's just we were talking about that a couple of days ago. I'm like, hey, y'all may want to look at this. I mean, there's nothing to do. And why the WISPApalooza show? It is the second full week in October, and the second full week in October this year is late because October 1st is on a Monday, not a Sunday. 4 weeks starts on Sunday. That's why it's so late. So therefore, it runs into Calyx's show this year. Calyx, what?
Which I'm
Yeah.
thrilled about it being late because it means I'm home for my wife's birthday.
Exactly.
She's thrilled about it too.
Yeah.
Every
'cause-
year we flip a coin on like, is this year going to be the year that I'm not home for your birthday or not?
Exactly. So I think it works out fine
Yeah.
this year for me. But we did realize that Calyx's show in WISPApalooza is at the same time. So that could be kind of interesting.
I don't know. I mean, how many guys here are really big Calyx shops?
Well, what I've been hearing the last few years is people are going to either Palooza or Calyx. They're not going to both.
Huh.
So there may be a better draw this year by them being the same week. That way, the
But I
full
think-
companies are bringing all, so they can split and go between the shows.
And without going into too much detail, the Calix has definitely changed their pricing structure on their Wi-Fi side of things pretty significantly
I talked
to our
them.
benefit as service providers.
Yeah, the smaller guys. Yeah, it has gotten a
So
lot.
it's gotten to the point where it's achievable. It's something that you can access. It's no longer out of reach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah,
which is nice. It's nice to see that they're willing to recognize that, hey, we're, losing potential customers because of this.
Yeah, as long as you have like a couple hundred to 1,000 customers.
Yeah.
If you're below that, it still doesn't make sense.
Now Toronto
Unless you have a really good ARPU on your customers.
Yeah.
When you're below 200.
Yes. Yeah. If you have a really good.
What were you saying, though?
I said Toronto needs to get the hint too. Whew, it's a price tag.
Yeah,
It is a price tag.
Yeah, but
Can you put a price on customer experience? I think they did.
Yeah.
I think they did.
My problem is just making the ROI work versus fiber, and it's a hard argument. Now Toronto will argue against you. I'm like, you need to put the serious bend to it.
I think, okay,
But I'm deploying Toronto. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
So and we deploy it all the time. So it's all good. It's good stuff.
because to me, Toronto, if you're in that weird, that area of density where you're not quite neighborhood, but you're wanting to serve 150 people in about 90 degrees, but they're spread out over 6-7 miles. That's where really Toronto kicks butt.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we have one of our BNs has 60 on it, and it's just kicking some serious butt. And a lot of them, we had a lot of problems with Toronto originally, but they really came through and fixed it. They were very cool. They were in a condo complex, and everyone had their stuff on the outside balconies and whatever. But they're close quarters, so it was a scheduling issue on the BN, and they got it fixed. It's just kicked some serious butt. So we love it. We do love it.
I want to talk 6 gig because
Yeah,
I'm excited to see.
all
But
the
before we
6
jump
gigs
on that,
here.
since we're on Toronto, is rumblings of a mobile app coming out here
Mhm.
very near future. I think probably a couple weeks out. So for alignment, which that's gonna be awesome.
Our guys are my tech guy was here, and he's looking forward to that.
Yep. And then
it just kills our guys.
I had a great conversation with Tower Coverage about trying to improve what they're presenting for numbers for when you're doing link calculations with Toronto to match a number that Toronto will actually present you as well. So that you have a compare between two instead of a signal level that you can't actually see. So hopefully we'll see some stuff coming out from them here in the future as well.
Yeah.
Well, I like seeing them. I think they are listening to our industry. They are taking great notes and doing great product development.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's great.
Toronto's really kicking butt. Other than the 450M and 365, which really seems to be the performance of the 450 line.
Yeah.
I think Toronto's won my multi-user MIMO access point, the high end, unfortunately. But 6 gigahertz is coming, and it's coming fast
Well, I
because
think
Toronto
6
just got
gigahertz is
approved.
here.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's coming anymore. I would say it's here.
but
here.
Yeah, but who has the 6 gigahertz access point on their tower that wasn't already running licensed?
You're talking licensed 6 gigahertz?
Yeah.
Or licensed
I have
2.5?
I have an SDA
Well, yeah, but you're
to test.
with the
It's
experiment.
experimental.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So besides guys who got the
But you
experimental
can go buy
license.
it. You can go buy 6 gig right now, and you
Yeah.
can put it up, and you can.
Yeah,
have
I know
functional.
people are running it right now. As long as you got the experimental license, you're fine.
As long
Well,
as you have the
You
But
can
they-
go run it now even without an experimental. You can-
Technically, yes, you can.
Yeah,
you
they
can.
just-
The what is it? The
it,
AFC
yeah, Federated got it a couple weeks ago.
Comscope.
Comscope's out. Toronto is
Toronto's through Comp. It's through Comscope.
okay. So they're approved and to good go.
I believe that they're using Comscope
Okay.
as the back end AFC,
Okay.
but it's all I think it's all integrated or something. You'd have to go talk with them, or they would need to go talk with them.
My understanding is there's both so you have to have the AFC, and then the hardware has to be certified for 6 gigahertz. and so like Toronto's like either in
So
the
I can't
like,
speak on
MLS
other
limits.
vendors because I haven't talked to other vendors about it yet, which I'm hoping to do today to see what their process is. When I talked with Toronto about it yesterday, if you do Toronto 6 gig and you use their whatever their like monthly SMS cost is or whatever it is, again, I'm not looking at it from a technical perspective. It's all integrated. Buy the radio from them. You buy a fee, and it's in the TCS, and that's it. That's all you have to do. You can go throw it up there and use it.
Wow. So let's just go.
Just go. So however they're doing on the back end, as with anything else, Toronto, it's a black box that you don't get to look into. There's no buttons or dials or anything that you do, and you get what's handed to you.
And Toronto is merging all their TCSs into one platform now, so that's just one login.
Oh,
So you
damn.
don't have a separate platform for 5 or 365, and I think 6. I think they're all merging into one now. We're going to do that next week when we get back from the show. Is to merge our platforms together.
Okay.
Good luck, Godspeed.
Huh? Yeah.
Good luck and Godspeed.
Supposedly it's going to be easy. We'll see.
Yeah.
We're using support. Support's helping us, so that's good.
Yeah.
So
And then there's MLO, Ubiquiti's MLO product, multi-link something.
I didn't get to talk to them about that yet.
I started talking with them briefly about it, but it's like the successor to LTE point to multipoint, I think,
Really?
using maybe like 6 and 5 gig.
Okay, so that's their are they actually announcing that? I thought
It's up on their screen.
okay.
If you look at their screen, there's big like MLO stuff on there, and you can talk to them about. So there's some kind of new point to multipoint product coming down the pipeline from them.
Okay. Well,
that's
good.
on their screen. So
Good, because
there's something there.
LTU. Some guys have had some success with it, but I've seen a lot of guys just were like, yeah, it's just
We're
AC.
still running Airmax.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping that there's some kind of backwards compatible successor to that for easy drop-in upgrades on the AP.
I hope they will do backwards compatibility, but they tried to not do it for AC line, going from M to AC. They didn't do it for LTU. I just don't see them.
Well, LTU was their own chipset though.
Yeah.
So it wasn't Wi-Fi based, so there was really no. I don't even know if there's a possibility of them doing backwards compatibility there, because they probably would have had to make some serious concessions on what they were trying to accomplish to be able to allow that particular product line to do backwards.
And that's what they said. It was we
It's our
could have
own
done
chip.
it, but then we would have had to not
We
do
couldn't
other
do
stuff.
all this other stuff.
Yeah,
But I feel like a lot of the stuff
do
that
all
they
the
did-
other stuff.
I feel like a lot of the other stuff that they did in the LT lineup is now stuff that's somewhat available in the Wi-Fi 6E, Wi-Fi 7 standards. So significantly
higher-
larger channel widths. I don't know if Wi-Fi does just or non-contiguous channels. I'm not sure if you can do that.
Not well. Yes, because you can do 5 and 6. So I think 6E has that.
Right, but so you could operate non-contiguous channels at different frequencies or different parts of the band.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if you could do non-contiguous 6
the same
gigahertz.
band.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've not seen any access points advertising that. I know.
Well, and from in office in-house Wi-Fi, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
It's more of a somewhat niche case for WISPs to be able to pick and choose where we're operating the band.
Yeah.
So,
Because we actually manage. We have to manage all
we
of that.
have to choose where it goes. Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas enterprise stuff, usually you can handle the noise issues.
But yeah, so there is something coming down the pipeline from them.
Okay.
And then they have all their wave stuff.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, and the wave's been really popular. I met
And Wi-Fi 7 AP.
Yep, they've got the Wi-Fi 7 AP out now, which is
I haven't had a chance to play around with it yet, so I don't know what it's capable of doing.
I honestly I don't know if I ever will.
I want to get my hands on one to play with it.
Yeah.
Because why not?
Yeah.
How do you know if it's good or bad until you actually test it out?
I mean, I'm excited for the Alta Lab stuff. So
I've been playing around with that for a while.
Yeah. And then I've honestly like Ruckus. I've been super happy with my used Ruckus stuff. So
Nice.
yeah, admittedly, I have to buy a gray market, and so it's a little bit less supported, but.
So you know how to support it. That's all that counts.
Right.
Yeah,
Yep.
as long as you can make it work.
Exactly.
All
That's the
right.
important part.
So, all right. Well, it's 12. What's the last words for everybody?
Use AI.
Yeah, use AI.
Responsibly. Use it
Yeah.
responsibly.
And make sure you pronounce it gigahertz
Yes,
Yeah, use
gigahertz
AI.
and AI.
Yeah.
and gigabits.
Gigabits, yeah.
There was like 2 or 3. There was
Two sessions that I know of.
Yeah,
On
2
AI.
sessions.
On AI?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot more of that. And I think it's something to experiment and play with. And we're looking at it.
It doesn't belong everywhere in your business.
No.
Mm-hmm.
There are places where it does belong, and there's places where in those places it belongs, there's varying levels of how much improvement it can bring.
Yeah, and it's not gimmicky stuff too, like what Next Lake was talking about was like that's really, really useful for network engineering stuff.
I mean, I'd say 2 years is probably a conservative guess, but I feel like in the next 2 years, you are going to get to the point where you're going to see operators that their customers are going to call in. They're going to talk to an AI. The AI is going to have access to the billing CRM. It's going to have access to network stats. It's going to be able to communicate to them if they're,
there's going to be
stuff
some
that's offline. There's going to be API hooks on it that's going to tie into this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, some operators are probably going to use that to cut headcount, and some operators are going to probably use that to take their headcount and give them more fulfilling and meaningful jobs and roles within the organization.
Yeah. And that was the lines that was much more useful. Like,
Yep.
And that's where the WISPs are gonna you got to aim your stuff towards.
Yep.
In my opinion.
If you're not using it, the other companies are right now, and
Yeah.
they're going to leave you behind.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep. Check out Google Orion.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was very interesting.
Yeah,
And
I didn't realize that you could do network level, that Google was supporting that, because we were looking and doing it. It's like, oh man, we're going to have to fiddle around with this stuff. But what is it? It's WPA.
It's Hotspot 2.0,
Yep.
which is also known as Passpoint.
Passpoint.
So those are two, or I should say Passpoint is one of many different parts of Hotspot 2.0. So it's a subsection of it. There's other things that are involved.
Get your whatever your router manufacturer is, make certain it supports Passpoint, because
Or Hotspot 2.0.
Yeah, Hotspot 2.0 because that's
you
what
can tie it
Comcast
in.
is doing.
Yep, and you can tie it in.
Yeah.
It's all about Wi-Fi offloading for those people that don't know.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
this is offloading AT&T and Google Fi cellular data, and
Verizon's coming supposedly.
Yeah. So you can get those companies to pay you when they have poor signal, or they just
or they're overloaded. A bunch of
Yeah.
people. You have an event in Oklahoma City where 1,500 to 2,000 people show up, and your cell towers get overloaded.
Mm-hmm.
You have the Wi-Fi connection that they can offload to as they choose. There's nuances. Do your own research as always. But yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you can.
And it's for all intents and purposes, it looks like it's pretty simple to set up. We're talking about a couple of days of research and deploy.
Yeah, I looked at it and MikroTik stuff.
Yeah.
And it was not a. They Google has the instructions
On how to do it.
Yeah, right there. So
MikroTik's got it.
Yeah.
Unify is in Unify. Hotspot 2.0 is in
Yeah.
Unify system. I'm sure, Calix is here. I'm sure they've got it. I have to assume TP-Link has it. Even though I haven't done any research on TP-Link, but just knowing who's playing in that space and how they like to stay relevant.
So yeah, if you're a router manufacturer,
Pick your poison of choice.
Push for that.
Overall Wi-Fi experience at the show. How about that? Rate that real quick.
If you're over at the Fairfield, it's awesome. That's 50 meg up and down all day long.
Nice.
Yeah, I was like,
I've been on Wi-Fi at all. I've been on LTE. I've been on Wi-Fi in my room.
Yeah,
it was Wi-Fi in the Omni in my room was fine.
Yeah,
I didn't really have any.
it was buzzing a little bit for me, but
yeah, Wi-Fi on the showroom floor is terrible. Like 5 meg, 5
That's
meg.
always.
Yeah, but
I don't know. We always, as geeks, have to rate Wi-Fi. We're at a Wi-Fi show, and I always tell the people, hey, you got a bunch of geeks about to hit this floor. I hope your Wi-Fi is up.
I would say Wi-Fi and cellular in the showroom floor, I give 4 out of 10.
Yeah.
But it's always like that.
Yeah.
It was rare.
Yeah.
Can we rate LinkedIn for being offline and Facebook?
Oh, that was fun with Facebook failing while we were there in the morning.
I was like,
Monday was fun. Yep.
Yeah, I saw the Slack messages coming in from this office. People are like, hey, people are complaining. And of course, it's the ISP's fault, of course. It's our fault. Facebook went down.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. It's always your fault.
What happened to LinkedIn? I don't remember.
I have no idea. It was offline yesterday for like probably an hour.
Oh, was it? I didn't even see that.
Yeah, I
It
didn't
was
hear about it.
full down. Couldn't do anything on it. I just happened to be trying to look somebody up on LinkedIn.
It's probably a DNS problem.
Yeah.
Take a ride through space on this mothership. Wireless networking. We talk about equipment and methodology, so sit back and start learning. Lighten up the tower so people can start searching. Shooting up the web in neighborhoods, net surfing. We got horrible jokes, we're loud and annoying, but we're informative facts, we're not disappointing. Just give us a listen, cause fun is the mission. I'm telling you, you don't know what you are missing. Ideas and some good comedy given. If you missed the show already, don't worry, you're forgiven.